AI isn't just changing how we work, it's taking over entire tasks that people used to do every day. Some jobs are already shrinking, others are shifting fast, and a few are being taken over almost entirely. Today, I'm going to count down 15 real-world jobs that we're going to lose to AI. Starting with number 15, Paralegal. Paralegals, they perform a wide range of legal tasks including document review, drafting basic filings, summarizing case materials, organizing evidence, and performing research. While the profession still exists and it remains important, AI is verifiably reshaping specific paralegal duties, especially those involving repetitive or text-heavy work. This shift is supported by judicial technology studies, legal industry surveys, and adoption reports from major law firms. Let's take document review, for example, one of the core responsibilities of paralegals. It's been partially automated for over a decade through predictive coding, a form of machine learning used in e-discovery. The U.S. Federal Judicial Center and multiple federal courts have published documents confirming judicial acceptance of technology-assisted review, or TAR. Large law firms like Hogan Lovells, Deloitte Legal, and Kirkland & Ellis openly discuss using AI tools to sift through millions of emails, contracts, and documents significantly faster than human reviewers. These tools identify relevant materials using statistical modeling, and they reduce the number of hours paralegals have to spend reading documents manually. Legal research, too, has also been affected. Systems like Westlaw Edge, Lexis Plus AI, Bloomberg Law, and Casetext Co-Counsel use machine learning to analyze case law, statutes, and legal commentary. These systems can summarize relevant cases and identify conflicts far faster than traditional keyword search, and their accuracy improvements are documented in vendor white papers and independent evaluations. Contract drafting and review are similarly changing. AI-assisted contract platforms like Ironclad, Kira Systems, and Luminance analyze contract language. They highlight unusual clauses and compare documents against standard templates. Legal departments, too, are also adopting workflow automation. Tasks like filling out standard forms, organizing disclosures, generating exhibit lists, and preparing routine correspondence can be automated using AI-driven templates. None of this eliminates paralegals, but many tasks, the client interaction, the case strategy support, complex drafting, and court filing still require humans. However, the portion of paralegal work that AI now performs is verifiably increasing, and legal employers acknowledge this in hiring trends, job descriptions, and internal documentation. The job's not disappearing, but the documented shift shows that AI is steadily replacing key components of these traditional paralegal responsibilities. Number 14. Retail Checkout Cashier. So retail checkout cashiers, they've been declining in number for more than a decade due to the rise of those self-checkout kiosks, automated point-of-sale systems, and even AI-driven retail technologies. This trend isn't speculative. It's documented through employment statistics and retail corporate filings. Large retailers like Walmart, Kroger, Target, Costco, Tesco, Carrefour, and major supermarket chains in Europe and Asia have publicly reported expansions of self-checkout lanes. Walmart's annual reports confirm significant increases in automated checkout systems, and the company's tested scan-and-go technology, which allows customers to scan items using their phones and skip the cashier entirely. Kroger's innovations include some digital scanning carts and predictive queue management systems that reduce the need for any staffed lane, and European retailers like Tesco and Sainsbury's have documented similarly broad deployments. The global growth of these self-checkout kiosks is also tracked by market research firms like RBR Data Services, which reported millions of new kiosks deployed worldwide in the last 5 years. AI plays a central role in those systems. Computer vision checkout platforms like Amazon's Just Walk Out technology automatically detected items as customers remove them from the shelves. Amazon documented the use of machine learning models trained off shelf images, motion tracking, and weight sensor data to identify the products. Those kinds of AI systems eliminate the need for both cashiers and traditional checkout hardware. Amazon Go stores documented in corporate publications operate with no checkout clerks at all. And unfortunately, labor statistics reflect this transition. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics project minimal growth for cashier roles, and they list automation as a major factor. In many regions, job postings for traditional cashier roles have decreased, while postings for front-end associates or customer hosts have increased, according to public job market data. Cashiers still exist, of course, especially in small stores, pharmacies, and rural locations. Some customers prefer staffed lanes, and many retailers maintain them for accessibility. However, the decline in cashier staffing is measurable and verifiable, and it is directly tied to AI-supported automation. All available evidence shows that AI and automated checkout systems already replace a substantial portion of cashier work, and this documented trend is continuing across most major retail markets. Number 13. Radiology Image Analyst. Radiologists, as a profession, they're not disappearing, but one specific role within radiology, entry-level image analysis, is being progressively automated by AI. It's important to distinguish between radiologists who make the final diagnoses and radiology support staff or junior-level analysts who perform preliminary reads, flag anomalies, and sort images by priority. AI is verifiably replacing some of these initial tasks. AI-based medical imaging tools approved by the US FDA provide clear evidence, and as of 2024, their database lists more than 500 cleared AI systems for clinical use. These include tools for identifying lung nodules, detecting intracranial hemorrhage, screening for breast cancer, analyzing chest X-rays, and triaging scans based on urgency. FDA summaries confirm that these systems assist radiologists by flagging abnormalities and reducing the time required for screening. Research in journals like Radiology, The Lancet Digital Health, and Nature Medicine documents measurable improvements in detection speed and accuracy for some tasks. Studies confirm that AI can reliably identify common findings like pneumonia, fractures, or mammographic abnormalities at a level that's consistent with trained junior readers. As a result, hospitals are reporting reductions in the amount of time radiologists spend in initial sorting or screening. Radiology professional organizations do acknowledge the trend. The American College of Radiology and the Royal College of Radiologists have published reports confirming that AI reduces workload for routine image interpretation. And these reports show that radiologists remain essential, but they also note that certain job functions, once performed by trainees, support staff, or reviewers, are handled by AI systems. Now, it's crucial to note what the evidence does not show. AI is not replacing radiologists as a whole. The medical legal responsibility for diagnosis remains with licensed physicians, and complex cases still require human expertise. However, the adoption of AI for initial image screening, case sorting, and quality checks show a measurable reduction in human labor for those specific roles. So from verifiable data, from FDA approvals, peer-reviewed research, and hospital system implementation, it makes it clear that AI is already performing tasks that traditionally belong to junior-level radiology analysts. Number 12. Long-haul truck drivers. Long-haul trucking is one of the few major professions where AI-powered systems are already performing real-world work, documented through state transportation reports, commercial testing records, and publicly released data from logistics companies. AI is not replacing all truck drivers, and there's no credible evidence that full driverless trucking exists nationwide. However, highway driving segments of long-haul trucking where the route is predictable, the lane changes are limited, and conditions are controlled, they're already being operated in part by commercially deployed systems. Multiple companies have published real-world documentation showing autonomous long-haul operations. Too Simple, a U.S.-China autonomous trucking company, released safety reports confirming that its self-driving trucks completed dozens of fully autonomous runs on the I-10 corridor in Arizona during 2021. The company also documented autonomous freight hauling partnerships with UPS, which use Too Simple's system to move goods between centers. Kodiak Robotics has published safety case reports showing that its autonomous trucks operate regular freight routes in Texas, including Dallas-Houston and Dallas-San Antonio lanes. There is a human operator that intervenes only at the beginning and end of the route, known as the first and last mile. Aurora Innovations, whose documents are available through federal regulatory filings, has partnered with FedEx, Werner, and Uber Freight to run autonomous line haul routes on major Texas highways. Their public reports confirm that AI drives the highway segments while human drivers handle terminal work and urban driving. and Aurora submitted its safety reports to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, making the data verifiable. Volvo has some autonomous solutions. They released reports showing fully autonomous freight hauling at mining sites and controlled industrial routes. Daimler has published some briefings confirming Level 2 and Level 3 driver assistance systems. These are systems that center the truck in the lane and they maintain safe distance automatically. Now, industry labor data does reflect changes in the job structure. The American Trucking Association notes that while drivers overall remain in demand, routine long-haul highway segments are increasingly being supplemented by autonomous systems. It's crucial to be clear, AI is not eliminating the entire trucking profession, and humans are going to remain required for loading, unloading, urban driving, fueling, inspections, and safety oversight. But the job involving long, repetitive highway driving between major cities, once one of the most time-consuming components, is now documented to be partially automated at commercial scales. Based on transportation records and safety filings and real-world deployments, highway segments of long-haul trucking are one of the most verifiably impacted areas where AI is already performing tasks that were once done exclusively by humans. Number 11. Proofreader. Professional proofreaders, especially those ones who handle routine text correction, grammar reviews, and basic style consistency, are experiencing a measurable decline due to widespread adoption of AI language models. This trend is supported by industry reports like software usage statistics, hiring data from editorial agencies, and documented changes in corporate workflow. For more than a decade, tools like Grammarly, Microsoft Editor, and Pro Writing Aid have offered some automated grammar correction, but the introduction of LLMs, large language models, has expanded to what software can do. These systems can now detect grammatical errors, improve clarity, rephrase sentences, maintain style consistency, and identify formatting issues. And many companies and individuals use automated proofreading tools for the first line of review, reducing the volume of work sent to any human proofreader. Publishing houses, marketing firms, and digital media companies have publicly acknowledged integrating these AI tools into their pipelines. For example, Associated Press and Bloomberg have documented using automation to support text production and review. Corporate communication departments often use AI for drafting and edit internal documents before sending them to human reviewers, and job postings in editorial fields frequently listed AI assisting editing tools as required skills, reflecting that integration into daily workflow. Freelancing platforms like Upwork and Fiverr provide additional evidence. Public marketplace data shows increased competition and lower demand for manual proofreading services. Jobs that once required a human proofreader, like blog post editing, basic copy review, or grammar checks, are now often posted with the expectation that AI tools will handle most of that initial work. Now, it's important to note that not all proofreading work is replaced by AI. Specialized editing like academic verification, legal formatting, and scientific manuscript review still require human expertise. Contextual judgments, nuanced tone decisions, and factual accuracy checks fall outside the full capability of current systems. However, for broad routine proofreading tasks, AI tools already perform a majority of the work in many businesses. The reduced demand for human proofreaders is not speculative. It is there in verifiable corporate adoption, measurable shifts in hiring patterns, and the increasing sophistication of AI-driven editing technology. Number 10. Market Research Analyst. So while market research analysts as a whole do continue to play an important role in business, entry-level market research tasks like data summarization, trend identification, and report generation are increasingly handled by AI. Traditionally, these analysts collected large data sets from surveys, sale records, customer feedback, and demographic studies, and then they manually organized and interpreted this data. Today, platforms like Tableau, Power BI, Google Analytics, Salesforce, Einstein, HubSpot, and Nielsen IQ incorporate machine learning models that automatically identify patterns and predict trends. For example, Salesforce publicly documents that Einstein Discovery can automatically produce explanations and recommendations based on customer data. AI generation tools now create data summaries and professional-style reports. Companies like SciSense, ThoughtSpot, and Olic have introduced natural language query systems that allow you to type questions and receive auto-generated insights without involving a junior analyst. Research published by Deloitte, Gartner, and McKinsey do document that a majority of large companies have adopted these AI-driven analytics platforms. Many respondents explicitly cite reductions in manual work. Corporate job postings similarly show a shift towards hiring analysts who can manage these AI systems. Importantly, though, expert-level market researchers are not being replaced. Strategic forecasting, complex modeling, and high-risk decision support all still require human judgment. However, the documented reduction in entry-level analytical work is pretty significant. In many companies, AI now performs tasks like trend extraction, dashboard creation, and competitor scanning, reducing the number of staff needed for those functions. Number 9. Social Media Content Moderator. Social media content moderators, the bane of my existence. They traditionally review posts, images, comments, and videos to identify rule violations like hate speech, harassment, or graphic violence. While human moderators still play a role, especially for context-sensitive decisions, AI now performs a large portion of the first-pass content screening. Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and X, Twitter, publish transparency reports that detail how much content is removed or flagged automatically. Meta's 2023 Standards Enforcement Report states that more than 90% of hate speech and violent content removals were initiated by automated systems. YouTube's Community Guidelines Enforcement Report similarly confirms that machine learning models identify and remove the majority of rule violations. And of course, hiring trends in the content moderation industry reflect a shift. Major outsourcing firms like Accenture and TELUS International reported decreases in large-scale moderator hiring for basic review tasks and increases in specialized role like escalation or policy refinement. Reddit uses automated systems like AutoMod, which is documented in its publicly accessible moderator tools. Discord applies machine learning to content filters verified through its safety center, and even e-commerce platforms like Amazon and eBay use AI to detect prohibited listings. Now, it is important to clarify that AI is not fully replacing human moderators. Many tasks, contextual judgments like cultural nuance analysis and appeals, still require human review. However, the first wave of moderation, once handled by large teams of entry-level contractors, is now overwhelmingly automated. AI has already replaced much of the initial screening that previously required extensive human labor. Number 8. A junior software QA tester. Quality assurance QA testers, hey, I was one of those, are responsible for checking software for bugs, verifying features, and ensuring that applications behave as intended. While expert QA engineers are essential for designing test strategies still, basic manual testing roles, like entry-level positions focused on repetitive checks, are being reduced to AI-powered testing tools. Historically, QA manually clicked through user interfaces, executed test scripts, and confirmed expected behaviors, and today, though, AI-assisted testing platforms can automate large portions of that work. Tools like TestHim, Mabel, Functionize, Applitools, and SmartBear, they all use machine learning models to analyze the application behavior and automatically generate test cases. This kind of AI-driven testing extends into the continuous integration and deployment pipelines. Now that's platforms like GitHub Actions, GitLab, CI/CD, and Jenkins integrate automated test checks. It enables code to be tested automatically whenever developers submit changes. Industry surveys from the Association for Software Testing, they show that more than half of global enterprises uses AI-enhanced test automation. This now performs tasks like regression testing, UI consistency checks, and performance benchmarking. These are areas that historically consumed many hours of junior QA labor. Listings for manual QA tester roles have decreased in many regions, while positions requiring test automation skills like experience with Selenium, Cypress, or AI-driven platforms have increased. AI visual testing tools are particularly impactful. Applitools Eyes, for example, uses machine learning to detect visual differences in user interfaces with far greater precision than manual testers. And of course, it's important to note that senior QA roles are highly valuable. Tasks like designing test plans, validating security features, and analyzing complex failures still require human expertise. But the entry-level positions that focus on repetitive testing steps are shrinking. Every component of this shift, from tool capabilities to hiring patterns to industry reports, shows that AI is already replacing a significant amount of routine work that was previously handled by junior QA testers. Moving on to number 7, a telemarketer. Telemarketing, well, we can probably do away with that, particularly around outbound calling involving scripted pitches, is one of the clearest examples of a profession being actively replaced by AI. Now, while human telemarketers still exist, especially in high-value sales roles, a portion of traditional cold calling work has already shifted to automated systems. AI voice agents are now widely used in outbound calling. Companies like Five9, NICE, and Cognigy offer conversational AI systems that are capable of making calls, answering questions, and responding to objections. These capabilities are documented by publicly available technical reports and white papers. Regulatory data shows the shift. In the United States, the Federal Communications Commission publishes enforcement actions documenting the widespread use of AI soundboard or voice clone systems in telemarketing. Call center companies themselves acknowledge this transition. In early reports and investor presentations, firms like Teleperformance, Concentrix, and T-Tech openly discuss deploying AI voice systems to reduce cost and increase call volume. Studies document measurable reductions in human calling hours among surveyed organizations, particularly for routine pitches or survey calls. AI systems can operate continuously, respond instantly, and manage high call volumes without a break. And the employment data mirrors this shift. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports slower than average growth for telemarketing roles, and it identifies automation as a key factor. It is important to clarify not all telemarketing is automated, though. High-value business-to-business sales and complex negotiations still require humans. But that routine, script-driven part of telemarketing, once a massive source of employment, is already significantly automated now, confirmed by documentation and regulatory records. I think that's a win for all of us. Number 6, insurance claims processor. Insurance companies. They historically employed large teams of claim processors responsible for receiving claims, reviewing documents, and verifying policy information. AI systems today have a substantial portion of those initial tasks, as documented in insurer financial statements. Major insurance companies like Allstate, State Farm, Geico, Zurich, and Progressive, they publish reports confirming the use of AI for claims triage and document analysis. AXA has documented its use of machine learning to detect potentially fraudulent claims, reducing the need for manual review. Geico, too, has confirmed the use of AI tools to analyze photos of vehicle damage and generate repair estimates. Yeah, I don't like the sound of that one, but certain AI document platforms like Shift Technology, Tractable, CCC Intelligence Solutions, and Snapsheet are widely used in the industry. Many insurers list AI partnerships in their annual filings, which makes the capabilities publicly verifiable. Regulators also acknowledge the shift. The U.S. National Association of Insurance Commissioners has issued guidelines addressing AI use in claims processing, and the European Insurance and Occupational Pensions Authority has published supervisory statements confirming that insurers use AI for decision support. Hiring patterns, too, reflect the shift. Job postings for claim processors is increasingly emphasizing the oversight of automated tools rather than performing the intake work directly. Positions now focus on exceptions, appeals, and unusual cases that AI can't fully interpret. And of course, it's not AI as wholly replacing human adjusters or claim specialists. Legal requirements often mandate human review for final determinations. But the initial stages of claims processing, once highly labor-intensive, are now heavily automated. All the available evidence shows that AI has already replaced many tasks that used to require large teams of claim processors, and that makes this one of the most well-documented AI-driven job contractions in the financial sector. Number 5. Travel agent. So yeah, travel agents, they once played a central role in booking flights and hotels and car rentals, and while human travel advisors still exist for luxury travel, corporate accounts, and complex itineraries, routine travel planning is now heavily automated. The shift began in the early 2000s with the rise of online travel agencies like Expedia, Booking.com, Priceline, and TripAdvisor. However, in the last few years, AI has replaced many tasks that even online platforms couldn't handle. Companies like Google, Hopper, Kayak, Skyscanner, and Expedia publicly document the use of machine learning models to predict airfare changes. Hopper, for example, reports its published methodology that its fare prediction algorithms will analyze trillions of price points to advise users when to buy flights, tasks that would have required human expertise in the past. AI-driven itinerary planners too also now generate personalized trips. Apps like Geek Guide, Roam Around, and Trip Planner AI use large language models to create day-by-day travel plans, restaurant recommendations, and attraction lists. Airlines and hotels have automated large portions of their customer interactions. Delta, United, Marriott, Hilton, and major global carriers are all using AI chat systems to answer questions, change bookings, calculate loyalty points, and handle disruptions. This automation directly reduces the number of routine customer issues that are routed to human agents. In Canada and the UK, government labor reports identify travel booking as high automation risk occupation, and industry publications like Travel Weekly and the Global Business Travel Association also note reductions in staffing. But still, not all travel agents are disappearing. There's still a stable demand for specialists handling cruises, safaris, and multi-country trips. These areas require negotiation, contingency planning, and supplier coordination. But portions of the profession focused on routine bookings and basic planning has been verifiably shrinking for years. Number 4. Advertising copywriter. Copywriters, they create written content for advertisements, marketing campaigns, and product descriptions. And while high-level creative direction and brand strategy still require humans, AI has already replaced a huge portion of routine copywriting, according to marketing industry surveys and software adoption reports. Since 2021, AI-driven writing tools like Jasper, Copy AI, Writer.com, Grammarly Business, and ChatGPT have become widely adopted across marketing teams. These tools include writing product descriptions, generating headline variations, rewriting promotional emails, and drafting social media captions. It allows companies to produce large quantities of marketing text with minimal human involvement. Global advertising firms have also acknowledged this shift, and public statements from WPP, Publicis, Omnicrom, and Dentsu confirm their use of AI systems for brainstorming and script drafting. Performance data shows reduced turnaround times and increased output, with AI assisting in early creative stages previously handled by junior copywriters. E-commerce platforms too provide some measurable evidence. Amazon documentation confirms that it uses machine learning to generate product descriptions for its massive catalog. Shopify's Magic tool automatically writes store descriptions and product blurbs as it's detailed in functionality reports. These tasks were once done manually by humans and entry-level writers. Hiring trends are reinforcing the shift. Public job market data shows a decline for posting in junior copywriter positions and an increase in roles like AI content editor, prompt strategist, or content automation manager. These new jobs are confirming that writing teams increasingly supervise AI output rather than generating every piece manually. But yeah, senior creative copywriters are not being replaced. Brand voice development, long-form conceptual campaigns, humor writing, and nuanced emotional storytelling still rely heavily on human skill. AI can't yet match human writers in originality, cultural subtlety, or brand-aligned tone for any high-stake campaign. However, routine tasks like short marketing blurbs, keyword-driven content, caption drafts, and basic ad variations are already performed at scale by AI. The shift is documented, it's measurable, and acknowledged by the advertising industry itself. It makes advertising copywriting one of the most affected creative professions to date. Number 3. Financial analyst. Financial analysts, they're still widely employed and they're essential to investment firms and banks. However, entry-level analytical tasks like modeling, forecasting, and routine report generation are increasingly performed by AI. The shift doesn't eliminate analysts as a profession, but it reduces the amount of human labor needed for low-complexity work. Companies like BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, and Morgan Stanley have publicly documented their use of machine learning for risk analysis and credit scoring. For example, BlackRock's Aladdin platform, described in the company's technical disclosures, uses AI to run millions of simulations that were once performed manually by junior analysts. AI tools like Bloomberg GPT, Kensho, AlphaSense, and FactSet's machine learning modules are widely used here to summarize earning calls, extract financial metrics, and monitor market sentiment. These tools can produce first draft analyses that human analysts previously assembled through hours of manual data gathering. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and the U.K.'s Financial Conduct Authority have acknowledged in published reports that financial institutions are increasingly relying on algorithms to detect anomalies, screen corporate filings, and conduct compliance, tasks historically assigned to junior analysts and interns. Public job postings emphasize automation skills, and hiring trends are showing this shift. Python, SQL, Tableau, and AI-assisted analytics over traditional spreadsheet-only analysis. Recruiters are frequently noting in interviews that firms are now expecting newcomers to manage AI tools rather than manually assemble the reports. AI cannot replace the judgment that's required for complex deals, long-term strategy, or qualitative assessments like management credibility or geopolitical risk. But the entry-level components of financial analysis, once performed manually, are now verifiably automated. Number 2. Graphic designer. Graphic design does remain a significant creative profession, but template-driven, repetitive, and high-volume design tasks are increasingly automated by AI. While skilled designers continue to lead branding, advanced illustration, and conceptual work, large portions of everyday design production is now handled by machine learning systems. Tools like Canva, Adobe Express, Figma, Microsoft Designer, and Vista Create use AI to automatically generate layouts, adjust typography, match color schemes, and propose designs based on short text prompts. Canva, for example, reports more than 150 million users, and it states publicly that the design tasks like background removal, layout adjustments, and image enhancement are now automated. Generative AI models like Midjourney, DALL-E, Stable Diffusion, and Adobe Firefly can produce illustrations, icons, textures, and visual concepts from textual descriptions. Adobe provides detailed documentation showing Firefly's integration in Photoshop and Illustrator for tasks like image extension, object removal, and style generation. Stock image platforms like Shutterstock, Getty Images, and Adobe Stock all announced partnerships or internal programs to generate AI-assisted images. These announcements are publicly available and clearly state that AI is being used to meet high-volume content demand. And hiring trends reflect that change. Job postings are increasingly requesting experience with AI tools in addition to traditional design skills. Roles such as AI design manager, prompt-based visual creator, or creative automation specialist now appear in hiring boards. Meanwhile, freelance platforms show declining demand for simple tasks like banner resizing, background removal, and icon creation. These are areas that are now automated by AI. But we have to acknowledge that AI hasn't replaced the high-level designers. Branding, complex illustration, UX strategy, they still rely on human creative direction. Industry reports from the American Institute of Graphic Arts confirm that conceptual thinking and creativity remain human-driven. However, the routine, repetitive, and template-based parts of graphic design, which once provided significant entry-level work, are measurably shrinking due to AI. Number 1. Customer Service Representative. Customer service reps, they have long handled tasks like account inquiries, billing questions, password resets, refunding, order tracking, and basic troubleshooting. Today, AI performs a substantial portion of those responsibilities. And while human agents remain essential for complex or sensitive issues, the core routine portion of this customer service work is now heavily automated. Major corporations openly report the adoption of AI-driven customer service systems. Bank of America's customer assistant Erica has handled more than 1 billion customer interactions. These are requests that previously required a human agent. Telecom companies like AT&T and Verizon publicly confirmed that AI chatbots handle password resets, plan changes, device troubleshooting, and billing requests. Retailers have similar evidence. Walmart and Amazon's customer service transparency reports confirm widespread use of AI to handle inquiries about returns and product issues. Amazon's customer service chatbot is capable of resolving a large portion of customer issues before any human involvement, according to the company's published documentation. Even governments and labor agencies also track the trend. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics identified customer service as an occupation facing slower than average growth, partly due to the automation. The UK Office for National Statistics lists customer service roles as among the most automatable because the majority of tasks are repetitive and rule-based. Real-world performance studies provide some additional verification. Independent evaluations published in journals like Computer Speech and Language and reports from the International Customer Management Institute show that AI systems have successfully resolved a large portion of password resets, returns, and general inquiries without any humans involved. Some companies report automated resolution rates of 40 to 70% for routine issues, figures that are publicly documented and independently confirmed. Hiring patterns in this industry reflect this shift. Job postings increasingly emphasize roles like AI workflow manager, escalation specialist, or bot supervisor, which shows that many positions are now focusing on managing AI tools rather than answering every customer inquiry. Human customer service agents still remain essential for tasks that require discretion, empathy, or complex troubleshooting. AI is used to triage and filter routine issues, while the humans handle the nuanced or high-risk cases. However, the routine portion of customer service work, which once made up the majority of call center volume, has already been significantly automated. AI systems now handle questions, solve common problems, and handle returns. And all of this is supported by publicly available data. And the result is clear and fully documented. Customer service, especially at the entry and intermediate levels, is one of the professions that's most visibly and verifiably being overtaken by AI. And I can assure you that I am not an AI.